First at 5, 3 workers and one dangerous day on the job they'll never forget. Does South Florida have a python problem? Questions after another giant snake shows up. Lionel Tate facing a judge and facing life behind bars again. Was the subway scare all a hoax? And Gloria Estefan out with her latest release, but you won't hear this one on the radio.
Also, 7 News following a breaking story at this hour at North Miami High School. A night school student walking to campus shot just feet from the door. We'll have the latest on this developing story. Hello and welcome. I'm Craig Stevens.
I'm Belkis Naray. 7 News First at 5 is next.
Live from the news station, this is 7 News at 5.
7 News First at 5 starts with a news alert. A man shot near North Miami Senior High. That man, a night student, rushing into the school for help.
And that's where we find 7's Tiffany Tucker. She has the latest for us now. Tiffany?
Well, Craig, we're on Northeast 9th Avenue and 137th Street, where we're told that a 20-year-old man was shot. Now, we're told that he was walking west on 137th when a car drove up. Someone shot him in the neck area. At this time, they believe by a pellet or BB gun. Now, we have some video of the scene here. We're told that the man, who goes by the name of Boney Maximus, made his way into North Miami Senior High, where he is a night school student. He was looking for help. You see them bringing him out there on that stretcher. We're told these are superficial wounds. We have some more video to show you of the transport. Now, he was later transported to Jackson Memorial Hospital, where we're told he may have already been released. He told investigators he heard a loud noise, then felt something on his neck area. And at that time, again, he ran into the school trying to seek cover, trying to get help. Investigators aren't sure exactly who this suspect may be. In fact, they cleared the area behind us. They cleared the scene about 15 to 20 minutes ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. And they weren't even sure that that was the scene. Still a lot of unanswered questions, but we can tell you a 20-year-old night student was shot in the neck area, they believe, by a pellet or BB gun, and these are superficial wounds. Reporting live from North Miami, Tiffany Tucker, 7 News.
Also tonight here, first at 5 o'clock, quite the scare, where 3 workers left dangling dozens of stories up. The man working on a brand new high-rise at the time.
But their job became survival when the ropes holding them in the air suddenly snapped. Dave Cartoonan is live in Sunny Isles Beach with more on this story. Scary stuff, Dave.
Yeah, it is scary stuff, Belkis. You know, figuratively speaking, you could say a lot of blood, sweat, and tears goes into building these beautiful condos like the Trump International condos here on Sunny Isles Beach. However, nearly lives went into building this one, or at least painting it today, as these 3 workers dangled 36 stories up. High-rise drama in Sunny Isles Beach. Just after 9 Tuesday, 3 painters at the site of the Trump International condos on Collins Avenue and 180th Street went tumbling when one of 2 cables on their swing stage snapped. 38 stories and nearly 400 feet above the ground.
It's like something gave out, a lock could have given out on the hoist, you know. But that's why they have safety lines. And then
after a 2-story free fall, the men's safety harnesses kept them dangling outside the 36th floor as Miami-Dade Fire Rescue raced to save them.
We broke out the windows using axes and pulled the people to safety.
Remarkably, the 3 men only suffered rope burns, and 35-year-old Javier Morales and 60-year-old Rolando Rodriguez were seen walking around the site. It was a gift of survival for Rodriguez, who was celebrating his 60th birthday. Perhaps even more remarkable, the 3rd victim, 24-year-old Dara Yavos Tirado, has now endured the same accident twice in the last 10 days. Both times, Miami-Dade Fire Rescue had to break windows to fish him down, and why workers call these painters' work some of the most dangerous on site.
Got a safety harness and a safety line, but you know, I don't trust my body weight with what's on top.
especially on the ocean, a gust of wind could come up anytime, and you know, you never know.
Back live here with another look at the Trump International condos. Now, you may want to know why this could happen twice in 10 days. Well, the first time, only 1 person was involved in the accident, and OSHA does not get involved until someone either dies or there are 3 or more people involved in the accident. So now OSHA is out here investigating. We also reached the company who builds these scaffoldings, Safeway. They're located in Wisconsin. They said they are investigating as well. They are just grateful, they say, that no one was seriously hurt. We're live in sunny Isles Beach tonight. Dave Cartoon at 7 News.
Also first at 5, another day, another report of a hungry python on the prowl. Looks like these giant snakes are slithering all over South Florida these days. 7's Natalie Solis is on the scene of the latest sighting, this one in southwest Miami-Dade. Natalie?
Belkis, we're right off of Southwest 148th Avenue. That python found dining in this chicken coop behind me. And the thing that has some people nervous, if you walk with me right over here, just right over there, you see a brand new development a stone's throw away.
Careful. See?
Testy at having its lunch interrupted. This 10-foot snake on the take for an early Thanksgiving feast.
We heard that the snake had turkey dinner before Thanksgiving.
This African rock python pulled from its hideout in a Southwest Dade chicken coop, so full it couldn't escape when experts were called in.
This is very unusual. We get maybe 3 to 4 calls like this in a year's time of snakes this big.
Imagine this man's surprise discovering the curled up constrictor. He says, "I found it here and I was very scared."
Told you.
Still putting up a fight, the python's relocated to a new home. Well, this feisty 10-footer will now be making his home here, at least temporarily, at A.D. Barnes Park. His new neighbor, somebody you probably remember from over the weekend. He got so much attention, they're calling him Hollywood. Hollywood is a 12-foot Burmese python discovered Sunday in a Miami Gardens neighborhood. A 15-pound Siamese cat still bulging in its abdomen. What's he doing there, Al?
Constricting.
Experts say pythons are found deep in the Everglades. These reptiles, though, likely abandoned pets that just happened to be caught days apart.
I think it was just a coincidence, but I guess time will tell.
All right, and you heard it there. These experts say finding these pythons just days apart, a coincidence, hopefully. For now, these two pythons will be at A.D. Barnes Park temporarily until they find a more permanent home. Live in Southwest Miami-Dade, Natalie Solis, 7 News.
All right, Natalie, other news here tonight. Robbers on the run after beating a gas station clerk. Surveillance cameras rolling as one of the suspects repeatedly struck that clerk. He took off with an unknown amount of cash. It happened last Thursday at a Plantation Shell gas station. Police are looking for 3 men who took off in an older model white or silver sedan. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers in Broward at 954-493-TIPS. A Southwest Miami-Dade home destroyed by fire. The flames breaking out last night in the home along 274th Street and 162nd Avenue. It started in a bedroom and quickly spread through the rest of the home. A family of 7 is being helped out now by the Red Cross.
Well, Lionel Tate's latest troubles landing him in court again. And as 7's Lynn Gordon reports from Fort Lauderdale, this time it could mean spending the rest of his life behind bars.
Lionel Tate enters a Fort Lauderdale courtroom once again with a stiff sentence hanging over his head. In 2 months, Judge Joel Lazarus will decide if the 18-year-old violated his probation, a charge that could send him away for life.
Mr. Tate unlawfully, willfully, and maliciously used the property of the Broward Sheriff's Office. Instead of property being less than $200, it's a second degree misdemeanor.
On this day, Tate pleaded not guilty to breaking the glass on his jail cell door back in August. The teen had been serving a life sentence for the murder of 6-year-old Tiffany Unick when he was just 12, but was later released on probation and amazingly got a second chance at life. Tate went back to jail a year ago, August, after cops say he robbed a Domino's pizza man at gunpoint. In this videotaped deposition provided by the Broward State Attorney's Office, a witness talks about Tate's involvement.
But as the man get like 2 steps away from that, he let the door close. And all of a sudden you see Lionel pushes the door open and has the gun to the man's face. And the man like throws the piece of boxes in the air and start tumbling down the steps. Lionel couldn't catch him, so he tumbled down the steps and he ran out screaming, "Help," and help.
But Tate's attorney says Carruthers is only covering up his own involvement.
Willie, I believe, was a participant in the robbery. He's alleging that he wasn't. And that's what's going to have to be borne out by the proof as to what Willie's participation was in this thing.
And there could be more trouble for Tate. Prosecutors could add 2 more charges, possession of a firearm and solicitation of an armed robbery. The hearing to determine whether Tate violated his probation is scheduled to be heard December 5th. In Fort Lauderdale, Lynn Gordon, 7 News.
This is a 7 News alert. Getting word now of several people injured after an accident in Coral Springs.
Tom Haynes at the news desk with more on what's going on there. Tom?
Take a look at this accident scene, Belkys. One car crashing flush into the side of another. They basically T-boned the car. Several injuries as a result of this major accident, again in Coral Springs, 112th Avenue, West Atlantic Boulevard. One person had to be transported by air rescue to the hospital. 2 other transports by ground. Again, very serious injuries in Coral Springs, 112th Avenue and West Atlantic Boulevard. Avoid the area if at all possible. We'll continue to follow the story here live at the news desk. Reporting live, Tom Haynes, 7 News.
All right, Tom, it now appears that threat to blow up New York City's subway system was a hoax. CNN reporting an informant in Iraq admits giving investigators false information about a planned attack. 3 people in Iraq were arrested, but lie detector tests show they knew nothing about a plan to bomb the subways. New York officials are reducing the increased security measures put in place last Thursday after word of the threat surfaced.
And difficulties tonight in the rescue and relief effort in an earthquake-ravaged region. That's because crews are dealing with another blow from Mother Nature, the weather. 7 Sharon Melton is live in the Newsplex with the very latest. Sharon?
Well, the first trickle of humanitarian aid is beginning to flow into the region. And at the same time, finding more survivors has brought hope to a lot of people as the death toll dramatically climbs from the earthquake-ravaged area in Southeast Asia. Miracles continue to happen throughout earthquake-ravaged Southeast Asia. Rescuers pulled the 69-year-old woman and her 45-year-old daughter alive from the rubble of their demolished Islamabad apartment building after being buried for 3.5 days. For this man, one of many survivors of building collapses, remembering what happened inside is often overwhelming.
You can see the people, they were like running in their own apartments to the doors when it was going to down. And I saw them literally crying for that. They were just opening the door and the building goes down.
The search continues at night for some sign that someone is still alive. While some are found alive, mostly the scene looks like this, as body after body is pulled out of the rubble. This little boy, battered and bruised when a daycare collapsed on top of him, is one of the lucky ones. 8 U.S. relief helicopters bringing food, supplies, medicine, and water by the tons, arriving in time to save him and get him and others the care they need.
However, we can help out. I pray that we can do that and help these people out.
With reports of nearly 40,000 dead and tens of thousands more injured, the aid is coming at a desperately needed time. With millions starving, many depend on handouts from those who have something left. But some take it a step further. Hungry survivors have mobbed relief vehicles before they're even unloaded, grabbing food, water, and whatever they can. But from sheer desperation comes hope. In India, a sand artist creating a sculpture depicting the earthquake in hopes of appealing for aid. Many bringing flowers, turning it into a makeshift memorial. It also brings hope to those who have been rescued that they have not been left alone.
Allah bless the Americans, he says. They've been very kind. I want to thank them for that.
And now wind, rain, and hail, though, are hindering relief efforts by grounding flights out of Islamabad. The rain is also bringing a new threat, mudslides on the steep mountains. Live in the Newsplex, Sharon Melton, 7 News.
All right, Sharon, thanks. And President Bush returning today to the hurricane-ravaged Gulf Coast, offering more help to the devastated region. Mr. Bush and the First Lady attending the reopening of a Mississippi elementary school. The president admitting a lot of work still has to be done there, but he commended residents on their strong initiative during tough times.
Out of the rubble here on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi is a rebuilding, is a spirit of rebuilding.
This is the president's 8th visit to the Gulf Coast since Katrina hit 6 weeks ago. Mr. Bush also taking part in a Habitat for Humanity project in Louisiana. His visit began yesterday when he toured hard-hit New Orleans.
Still ahead tonight from the news station, bad news in the battle against the bird flu. Why it has American health officials bracing for the worst.
Then coming up all new at 5:30, a store clerk shot over cash. See the clue on camera. Police hope will lead to an arrest.
Ahead, all new at 6 o'clock here, Denise Calvo. She's back in court, and there are fireworks.
Well, if you gotta go out with the old, you might as well do it with a bang.
And Gloria Estefan out with her latest release, but it's the kids who will decide if this one's a hit. We'll explain when the news at 5 continues.
And now, the Wachovia Wall Street Watch.
Seven News brought to you in part by your Southern Chevrolet dealers.
From songs to stories, Gloria Estefan going elementary in her latest release. It is not something you're going to hear on the radio.
And forget about those bad music critics. This time, the kids are going to decide if this one's a hit. Louis Aguirre has more. Live from the Newsplex now. There it is. Hey, Lou.
It's right here. That's right, kiddies. You can now add author to her long list of credits. Superstar Gloria Estefan taking a cue from Madonna, releasing her first in a series of children's books based on her own little puppy, Noelle. She can do the conga in front of a sold-out crowd and hold her own on the big screen with Meryl Streep.
Why are you being so nice to me?
Ulterior motives. I want my daughter in your class next year.
Now, singer, songwriter, actress, Miami girl Gloria Estefan trying her hand at writing children's books, releasing her first, The Magically Mysterious Adventures of Noelle the Bulldog, based on her own bulldog, coincidentally named Noelle. You've got it bad for this dog. I mean, you are so in love with this dog.
Totally. Over the top ridiculous. And I have lots of dogs.
I know.
But she's very unique.
So unique is Noelle the Bulldog that Glow had no problems coming up with a storyline for not just one, but a series of children's books with Noelle as the star.
She sleeps on the kitchen table. All the other dogs are on the bench and on the floor. She says, oh, no, no. I'm on the table.
How does she get up there? Because she's got these little itty-bitty legs. How does she jump up there?
She climbs up. That's another thing. She just does things that bulldogs don't do.
In the book, we see Noelle go from a misfit puppy that can't quite find her place to finally discovering her own unique talents and becoming the star of the backyard. So it's a beautiful story. I think we can all relate to Noelle. I mean, I think I was Noelle.
We were all Noelle.
Yeah. So
I was Noelle. I started first grade. I didn't speak a word of English. The kid next to me called me stupid. 6 months later, I won the reading award, snatched it out of his hot little hands. I was super shy. You know, I never would have thought that I was going to end up doing what I'm doing.
And Gloria still loves to do what made her a star. Even though she recently retired from touring, she's still performing in smaller venues, singing and writing music. She even wrote a new song about her lovable bulldog, Noelle. The CD comes with a book, a story for the kid in all of us.
And it's about how, you know, your gifts will show themselves to you eventually, how, you know, we each, what we think is our weakness can become our strength, how much we have to offer the world around us. A lot of little, you know, seeds of positive thought for kids, taken to a fantasy level, of course.
Gloria's book was officially released today and is available at a bookstore near you. And Glow is already working on the second book in the series and is having lots of fun doing it. Noelle, that's a good puppy. Live in the Flex, Louis Aguirre, 7 News.
Good boy, Louis. Good boy. Now go get your treat. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it.
She did. And speaking of dogs, here's a dog story with a happy ending. They thought their pooch was gone for good, but tonight an ending to this tale that is doggone amazing.
My goodness, the news is going to the dogs. Also ahead, she was left behind the wheel for her birthday, but it was nowhere near her sweet 16.
Also, how do you make sure your kids know the dangers of strangers? Tips tonight, Parent to Parent, 5:30 here.
Closed captioning brought to you by City Furniture, now offering same-day delivery 7 days a week.
Time now for your First at 5 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Farrow.
And a beautiful afternoon all across South Florida. Temperatures right now in the mid to upper 80s from Deerfield Beach all the way down to Key West, 90 in Naples. And we're also watching some showers and thunderstorms moving across South Florida, mainly towards the southwest. But the lower Keys getting hit right now pretty strong. Big Pine, Big Torch, Middle Torch. This is all moving towards the southwest. So Key West should be getting some of this rainfall in about another half hour or so. The reason for this, we're getting a northeasterly flow, high pressure in the nation's midsection, and then an area of low pressure that's just been hanging here off the eastern coast of the U.S., giving us some storms, but mainly in the interior, where there is plenty of activities over the Caribbean. There is a huge area of low pressure. This is bringing rainfall from Jamaica through Haiti through Puerto Rico. As a matter of fact, the radar from San Juan showing that there's still plenty of moisture coming across. That will not change throughout tonight. And we made history in the eastern Atlantic. Remember Vince? This became the first tropical system to ever strike Spain. What an incredible 2005 season. Here's a forecast for us. Just a few sprinkles tonight. For tomorrow, some isolated showers. And then for Thursday, we'll be watching a low developing out east, but continued nice for us. The marine forecast, seas of 1 to 2 feet, the bay with a light chop. Tonight, partly cloudy, just a few sprinkles. Tomorrow, we're looking at partly sunny skies, highs in the low 90s. And here's your extended outlook. Thursday and Friday looking very nice. And that's your 7 on 7 forecast.
Well, topping health headlines tonight at 5, America's report card on cholesterol is out. Concerns the majority of African Americans aren't getting enough calcium. But first, bad news in the bird flu battle. Health specialist Marilyn Mitzel is here with the latest on all of these stories. Hi, Marilyn.
Belkey's World Health officials confirm that the bird flu is indeed spreading. Cases are now showing up in South America. That's getting very close to home. Experts say it's not if, but when it arrives in the U.S.
The bird flu has infected more than 100 people in about 10 countries, killing at least half. World Health officials are in Thailand trying to stop the spread.
It only takes one spark to set this virus off. Obviously, the world is concerned about this, and there are many other pathways through which a virus like the H5N1 could be set into the environment.
The U.S. government hopes to have a plan of attack in place by the end of the month. It admits our medical communities are not prepared for an outbreak.
We have a long way to go to train our public health workforce to be a first line of defense.
Tests of a flu vaccine look promising. More research is necessary to see if it's safe and effective. Once approved, it'll take about a year to produce and start stockpiling. Fortunately, the current avian strain isn't easily passed from person to person. That could change if the virus mutates. Nearly 90% of African Americans are not getting nearly enough calcium. The main reason? 2 myths. Many mistakenly believe they don't get osteoporosis and are lactose intolerant.
When I inquire, well, are you sure you're lactose intolerant? Most of them have never had the diagnosis confirmed. They just hear about it and assume that they have it. Most African Americans can tolerate 3 servings of dairy a day without discomfort.
That's the daily recommended amount. There's good and bad news about cholesterol. Levels are going down in older adults, but they're still too high for many young adults. That increases the risk of heart disease.
The average cholesterol for the U.S. adult is now 203, and we'd like that to be below 200. And in fact, we'd like every person's average cholesterol level to be below 200.
And of course, the best way to lower your cholesterol is to eat healthy, exercise regularly, and keep your weight in check. That's HealthCast. I'm Marilyn Mitzel, 7 News.
All right. We'll be right back.
He kept you informed during Katrina.
We can clearly see the eye right now.
Guided you through Rita.
It is just starting to brush Key West.
And you know 7's Phil Ferrell will be ready if there's another one.
We are getting some late-breaking information.
Working around the clock.
It's going to be a long night.
Helping you stay safe.
You're not completely out of the woods yet.
Why weather the storm with anyone else?
Take a look at this.
Chief Meteorologist Phil Ferrell, only on the Storm Station, 7 News.
That is a wrap for 7 News at 5. I'm Belkis Nure.
I'm Craig Stevens. Stay tuned. 7 News at 5:30 is next.